You know, I think we don't see things that are happening with us in our lives. And I was talking to a few people and I said, what are those things? What bothers you? And what are some of the things that we are afraid of? And sometimes what we're angry about, we're afraid of. What are we angry about? What are we afraid of? We're afraid of becoming unhealthy. We're afraid of getting something that we can't get out of. We're afraid of money situations that we can't solve. We're afraid of getting older and not having security. We're afraid of how we're going to take care of parents if something goes wrong. We're afraid of death. We're afraid of losing people that we love. We're afraid of losing that job at the wrong place and at the wrong time. What do we do? Everything that you deal with in life is not just practice, but it is preparation for the next step. I think we have taught people for so long that real faith is about avoiding storms, about being able to speak wonderful words and make storms disappear. But Jesus, who is one of the greatest teachers ever, didn't always speak to storms to make them go away. Sometimes Jesus walked through them and ignored them. Sometimes you don't just try to make them leave. You learn to ignore them and walk through them. Either way, the storm is of no consequence. What can I say about life today? Everywhere we look, pick up the newspaper. Now it's not just the newspaper, but we turn on our cell phones, our iPads. CNN pops up, the Washington Post pops up. Something is always going on. And we feel challenged everywhere. Sometimes the opportunity to go higher is in what we've been doing all along. Just preparation. Don't get discouraged. Don't get bent out of shape. Because a lot of what you deal with is preparation. The road signs. Your life, your best life, is up ahead of you. Don't give up now. I believe that thing that you really desire is right around the corner. And I think you're ready for it. Yeah. Make the shift. Hello, I'm Ed Montgomery, aka Dr. Ed. I'm back. I'm back to finish up what I started last week. Oh, I started a ruckus last week. And so we're going to pick this up from last week. Are you tired of allowing the pressure in life to just weigh you down? You go home, there's pressure. Pressure with the husband, pressure with the wife, pressure with the boyfriend, pressure with the girlfriend, pressure with the money, pressure on the job, pressure just everywhere. It feels like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. We've been so pressured here in America, it feels like everything is just pulling us down. I'm not lying. This is lying. I'm not lying. What I'm going to teach you today is what you can do to come out, or should I say, to take the pressure and change it into something. This thing, it just dropped. It dropped right down into my spirit. How to take the pressure and turn it into a pearl. Look at that. From pressure to a pearl. Now, before I go on any further, if you're going to become a pearl, you got to make sure that you connect with other people, because you can't be a pearl by yourself in the ocean. There are other pearls and other oysters. But when pearls come together, guess what happens when pearls come together? Pearls become a string of pearls, and they're gorgeous around your neck. Pearl ring, pearl necklace, pearl this, pearl that. And there's reasons pearls are priced. They're called to be priceless because it takes forever to make them. Well, now things are manufactured a little bit, in the labs or whatever. But pearls are still gorgeous things. So remember that you are a pearl of great price. So remember to let other people know what you know. How many of you have learned something from just hanging with me over the last few weeks, the last few months, the last few years? Thank you so much. I see you, your comments. Let me tell you something, your comments are priceless. Type them in, let me know. When I see the comments, I don't see them while they're coming through, but I do go through them like like somebody that's hungry for a comment. I want to see them. I go through the comments and I see them and I see what you type. And, out of 20 of them, I get one of them that might be a little off the edge, but I don't know why we have a tendency to look at the one that's over the edge instead of the 19 that are just lifting. But so send some more comments. I don't care. Write me. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel. Let me know if something has lifted you, because when you're lifted, I'm lifted, and I'll just pour out everything. So make sure you hit those comments and hit that like button and thumbs up, whatever you hit the like button and hit the subscribe button and share this with one of your friends. Okay. All right. Last week, I ended with pressure, and I did promise that I am going to talk about what that pressure, how you have to look at it and what it can become, and the value of something that it can become. When you're under pressure, this thing can go either two ways. It can either impress you, depress you, or express you.
Simone Biles, Twisties.
Oh, thank you. The producer just reminded me about Simone Biles. Simone Biles, of course, we're in the Olympic season. We've been watching all of this gold coming from her. I mean, valuable gold coming from what she does. And people have forgotten that about just 4 years ago, Simone Biles had dealt with something that she called the twisties. How many of you know what the twisties are? How many of you remember the twisties? Remember? And people were the media was crushing her. They were coming down on her. What's wrong with her? It's this mental, she's talking about she's dealing with her mindset, her mentality. The twisties, what is that? Just get out there and do it. Just get out there. Well, what the twisties were when you're up in the air, you have to first of all begin to visualize not only what you're doing, but how you're going to land. And you don't have time when you're up on those parallel bars or that horse. You don't have time, or the uneven bars. You don't have time to think about it. You got to be able to see it, because this comes with the practice. And you've got to be able to see it, do it, and that's it. And then express it. You have to express what you see. The pressure. And you've got to begin to express from the pressure that you're dealing with. You're either going to deal with one of the two things, depression or expression. Depression, impression, expression. Because when you got them twisties going on in your head, what you're seeing is, I can't make this landing. And if your mind tells you you can't make this landing, or you're confused about it, guess what happens? You might not make it, because you can't see. When you're up in the air, twisting around and turning, you have no reference point. You've got to trust your training. And that's what I have learned spiritually. It is about our training. And what is our spiritual training? Here we go. Spiritual training is what we call faith. That's what this scripture, James chapter 1 and verse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it deals with faith. Count it all joy, to consider it joy when you deal with various or pressures. Understand this, that the trying of your faith, or the trial of it, or the testing of your faith. How is our faith tested? Okay, here we go. Faith is not tested because God wants to see if you have it. Nope. The testing of faith is not some contest or some hurtful thing that God gives you to see whether or not you are worthy. Forget that. I'm going to tell you something a lot of religious people are not going to like what I'm getting ready to say right now. Get ready. God does not kill a parent to see whether or not you love God more. God does not take your mother or take your father to test your faith. Well, you know, they had to go. God had to take them out of this earth so that God's testing our faith right now. God is not testing your faith. God does not take your child to test your faith. God does not take your job to test your faith. God does not take your money or your paycheck to test your faith. I don't care how bad you think you have been, how horrible a person. There's a whole lot of people, a whole lot more horrible out there that's got multiple millions of dollars coming in all the time. They've done a lot of stuff and they still got what they need coming in, and they're living a nice life, sleeping on golden beds and diamond staircases. And religious people will say they're sooner or later they're going to be cut down. When? I'm not seeing too much cut down here lately. But the twisties are all this stuff going on in our heads. So let's untwist this thing. You got to break this thing down. What about the patience? What does the trying of faith do? The trying of faith brings about something called patience. Are you telling me that what I deal with when I'm under pressure is trying to create patience inside of me? Not exactly. I'm going to give you another word. This word is about to open up your spiritual life like you've never had it opened up before. It is about to open you up. And when I give you this one word, you will never be the same. But right now, give me 90 seconds. And let me tell you, that word I'm going to give you is going to help you to understand why we give to other people. Because when we get something, we got to give it back. Because when something happens that's good to us, when you learn something good, when you taste something good, why do we send pictures of our food to people? Because we just had a good meal and we want to share with them. They can't taste it, but we want to tell them, hey, you missed this good meal. We help people to find balance in their faith. We help people to find a place where they're not being judged, where they're not being pressed down. So I want you to take a moment. There's something I call text to give. That's 713-742-2035. You can use that number. Put a $4, $8, $10, whatever you want to put inside of that text bar. If you say, this has really helped me today. Don't be stingy. Be a giver, not a taker. Put something in that little bar right there. And then send it to that number. And it helps us to reach out to other people. See? When we give, we buy more space, we buy more things and things of that sort, and reach out to other people. Or you can go to myalc.org. That's myalc.org. It is a safe, sound, trustworthy, verified website that will help you. You can give that way, and remember, all of your contributions are tax deductible. That's right. Take it off your income tax, all those kind of good things. Take a moment. All right. We'll get right back to that word. Are you ready for that word? Here it is. The testing of your faith, the contest of faith, worketh or works or energizes. Patience, you think, means to wait. The word is not patience of waiting or waiting. It is endurance. Yes. The trying of faith, the testing of faith, pressure on your knowledge of yourself, who you are and what you are inside, begins to exercise your spiritual muscle of endurance. LeBron James, athletes, Simone Biles, all of these. Why do you train? To create endurance. Why do you train? To create mental images. Why do you train? To see things to where in a split moment of demand, when the pressure is on, when the spotlights have hit you, and when you got to deliver, you don't have to go run into the restroom and pray. You don't have to shrink back. You don't go into a cold sweat. Baby, you just deliver. This is what I'm looking at right now in America. Maybe it's time we delivered some joy in this country. I want my friends back. I want people that I've known. You notice Kamala Harris, and I think she just a new person is running for vice president. Let me tell you what the guy. It's a white guy that looks like my friends that I grew up with, who had kids and their fathers, and I would wave at them. Hello, Mr. Jones. Hello, Mr. And hi, Eddie. How are you doing? Those days. I don't care about the race thing, whatever you're thinking in your head. As long as you treat me right and I treat you right, you can keep whatever you want to say it inside of your home. I think it's time for our country to come back to civility. At least let's start there. Tolerance, let's start there. You may not love me, but you know what? I don't need you to love me because I love myself. This is what our country learns, to endure some of these things that's going on. Yeah, we got to fight some battles. Yeah, we got to stand up for what needs to be stood up. We need to understand our history. We need to teach our history. We need to stand for who we are. But at the same time, we have to endure. We can get through this. Come on. Join hands with me. And if you're out there and you believe we can get through this, text me, comment it, and just say, we can get through this. That would be a beautiful statement. And I'm holding this moment just for 30 more seconds. We can get through this. Send it to me. I want to see it. Whatever you're going through in life, say, I can get through this. There it is. Just grab my hands. I know this is plastic and tubes and everything and light. I can get through this. Your child may be dealing with some things. Say it. My son or my daughter can get through this. My marriage can get through this. My relationship can get through this. We can endure it and come out on the other side winners. Good night, everyone. I'm bringing some people in here with me, so This is the first time that I've brought some folk in my prayer closet. I was going to do, we come before thee and we beseech thee, and knee bend and body bow, but you know I don't talk to you that way, right? No. They don't know that you call me Edward, so they just finished that show that we did, and it's a little different, but I'm hoping we reach some people. But listen, I'm just gonna be real with you. There's some folk in my life that you're gonna have to can you get rid of them? Okay, I knew you wasn't gonna do that, but I'm not talking about rid of them. I'm talking about, can you just kind of push them back a little bit? They're messing with me. Yeah, I know. I'm trusting you for so many things, so many places in my life that I need you in. And I know you can deal with you, I'm not alone, but sometimes there's loneliness. But with you, I can get through this. I'm at the point now that I'm just going to trust you with it. Can you help with the clicks? You know, Lord, I need algorithms. You don't mess with that, right? Okay. So you don't mess with the algorithm and you can't move those people. Okay. Well, at least I'm going to get a good night's sleep. Thanks for everything else. Couldn't have made it without you. Night, Lord. This room is filled with so much energy. It is filled with abundance everywhere I go, whether I'm in this room, whether I'm in this space, whatever it is, the space where you are. Even though there is glass and plastic and Wi-Fi between us, actually we are in the same space. We are in the same place. We are in the moment of now. I want you to grab a hold of this now. First of all, thank you for your contributions. Thank you for your donations, but more than anything, thank you for your partnership, because that's what enables us to reach out and to connect with more people. Take a moment. Let your gratitude show. You can text or give 713-742-2035. That's 713-742-2035. Or you can go straight to myalc.org. That's myalc.org. And you can give. Press that donate button. It will take you immediately. It'll only take a couple of minutes. Or if you're old school, you can write a check. Slip it into an envelope and you make sure you put a stamp on it. And you can send it to Abundant Life Center or Ed Montgomery. It doesn't go into my pocket. It goes into the organization. It's the ministry. And you can send it to P.O. Box 772-300, Houston, Texas, 77215. Those are the ways to be able to send it. But once you send it, there's a way that will be made in your heart. First of all, it will be warm and loving, but it'll also open the doors for other people. And you can't beat that with a stick, as my granddaddy used to say. Thank you so much. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit that subscribe button, smash it, crash it. Let us know you're there.